and welcome back to the SnoCo FC show. This is our third episode, and today we are taking it indoors because we're going to talk about the Snohomish County Football Club Steelheads, the new team in the Western Indoor Soccer League, and how that came about, the recent open tryouts, and where things stand as the WISL looks to continue play or to start up play for a new season after the COVID-19 issues are organized and put to rest. So I'm David Falk, and I'm the general manager of SnoCo FC. And as always, on the other side there is Daji Kesim, who is the technical director of soccer, and he's Turkish, so his name is sometimes, even his nickname trips me up, let alone his real name, which is Dahan, right?
Dahan, yeah. That's really good.
Yeah, okay.
Most people say Dagan or Dagan.
Well, I just said Doggy when it's Daji.
Daji.
So.
Daji is kind of like a nickname.
Yeah.
Let me tell you a quick story.
Is it short for something?
It's a funny story. I'll tell you real quick. If you want to cut this out, you can. We'll be quick. Very quick story. When I was played for Galatasaray and youth programs and stuff, I was a big fan of Georgi Hagi. It's a Romanian soccer player. And my friends used to make fun of me because they thought that I was in love with him. So they gave me a short nickname called me Daji. And they would yell, Daji, Daji. And then I kind of hated that for a while. And then when I came to you, nobody could say my name. So I'd say, oh, you just call me Daji. And everybody was like, oh, that's easy. So that's how it stayed, Daji.
You claimed it and made it your own, and now it's like a power term. And you're a one-name star in Snohomish. You say Daji, and trust me, they've either not heard of you or they have a major opinion either way. It's interesting how that works. But I had some fun last weekend. What I got to do was go cover the historic first ever tryouts for a Steelheads indoor men's semi-pro soccer team. And it came about in part because of this great new relationship that the Snohomish County Football Club has with the Snohomish Sports Dome. And the dome shut down in June, and it looked like we were going to lose the home for indoor soccer in Snohomish permanently. But a group of people worked really hard, including Emily Morton, among others, but she's not the only one. Jamie also is in there. And they were able to get some help, and on their own with some of their friends, they got paint, they got new flooring, they went in there, they redid it, and they reopened. And they said to us, we would love for the Steelheads to be a partner in some way. And of course, we were all for it. Little did we know that it would turn into as big of a thing as it has, because in the meantime, we applied to the Western Indoor Soccer League. And they hadn't said yes or no to us yet. But we knew that some of our players wanted to play in Steelheads uniforms and under the Steelhead badge indoor. And so it all fell into place. We had the meeting with the WISL. They accepted us into the league as a new team in Snohomish. And then it was just a matter of finding a head coach and scheduling open tryouts. And I said that I was at the tryouts. We're going to watch some video on top of us in a minute and talk more about those tryouts. But if we take a step back, after we were announced, then we had the search for coach. And that's where I'm going to turn it over to you to talk about what the club did and eventually picking Jim Kessler as our head coach. So talk about that search.
Yeah, we always wanted to organize ourselves as a professional entity, and we were always proud to do that. So when it came to hiring a new coach, we wanted to do it professionally, go through an interview process and find the right person. And we had 3 candidates. They were all qualified, all very exciting. and they did a great job in the interviews. And you and I talked about it. It wasn't the easiest decision, but we definitely picked the strongest candidate when it comes to experience, connection, and knowing the game. And Jim showed a lot of confidence in his ability. And when it comes to adult soccer players, they're like sharks. If they smell the blood, which is you don't have confidence, they will smell that and they will eat you up. So when the way that he carried himself, his voice, I felt like, okay, these guys will follow this guy. And that was my opinion. Obviously, David thought that too. And David brought up different points on the other side of you. I'll leave that to you. What you thought was very important to pick that candidate. But for me, is the technical and tactical part of it. He knows the game, and it's important that indoor is a completely different sport. So it's important that we have a guy who has the experience, who has seen these players, and who has the experience about and knowing the other teams and how they play, like the powerhouses, Tacoma Stars, Bellingham United, how they achieve those goals. He knows those teams. So I have no idea personally. I'm a soccer guy. Like you said, like either the people love me or they hate me, but I've been around long time, and I'm not gonna claim that I know indoor as well as some of these guys. So it was an easy choice when it comes to the experience, but it was a hard choice because all the other candidates really wanted to give their hearts and soul to the program. You know what I mean? So I hope they will be around in the long term. I hope to see them in the outdoor coaches helping me out because I loved all the interviews. So
Yeah, I enjoyed the interview process too, and getting to know all three of the candidates. And it just reminded me, of the Steelheads being a community club. And we just, when people are here and when they're helping us and when they're committed, we love it. But we also love it when new people come in and when people have been around for a while, have other things to do for a bit, then we can understand it too. And so we made sure at the end of those interviews to let all three people know that we would love to have them involved in some way, even if they're not hired. And, eventually the choice was made to have Jim Kessler come on. And he hit the ground running. And he sort of had to, because this is a brand new from scratch program. But yeah, you mentioned what you liked about his interview. One of the things I liked was the way he knew about everything from walking in the front door of the dome to going to the bench. He talked about putting on a show, taking tickets, how it'll look, entertaining people. And of course, he referenced the fact that he did that back when he started with the Snohomish Skyhawks back in 2005. So he has been there both on and off the field. And when you're starting up something new, you really can't ask for more than that. So that has rung true and already been showing dividends for us, because that's the way Jim ran the recent open tryouts. Organized. I was there helping with sign in, and he doesn't have to take care of everything. We'll help him, but he certainly could have if we had needed it. He ran the open tryouts, and he has brought in Craig Otto and Jeff Christensen as two people who are going to help him on the bench. And it was a well-organized, interesting, fun, safe, open tryouts that kind of gave us a real boost and made it, exciting that this program is here. Mm-hmm. Because, hey, let's be honest, the last time the Steelheads took the pitch in any sort of organized fashion was in 2019 when we won the outdoor championship. And COVID has stopped us until open tryouts that weekend. So you could tell the guys were happy. Are you looking for a trophy there?
Right there in the middle.
There it is.
That's ours.
Speaking of details, one of the things that Jim's asked for was the trophy. He said, I think on the way in, the guys should see our trophy and know that they play for a championship club. And we just didn't have a chance to get it from you. But that's his mindset, is these players have to know that they're going to play for someone special and for a special club. So, but we had the 2019 banner hanging from the rafters. So we got him covered.
Yeah.
But the partnership with the Dome, it is one that we know Gala FC is already doing.
Mm-hmm.
Our guys and some of their girlfriends and families played in that soccer tennis tournament before the outdoor tryouts. It happened a few weeks ago. So we know that that's going to be a great relationship, and it's a fun building to play in.
Yeah.
But one of the other things that happened, thanks to one of our longtime players, Andrew Escalante, is that Indoor got a sponsor and brand new shirts. And that sponsor is Trails End Tap House, who is that restaurant is connected to the Dome. But it was exciting for the Fish because we have these beautiful new magenta, hexagonal, and black kits, and they do have a sponsor on them.
Yeah. It looks good too.
Yeah. So have you seen them in person yet?
I haven't seen it in person, but I'm jealous.
Do you look good in magenta?
Yeah, I'm jealous.
Of course you do.
It looks amazing. Like they did a good job. Well done to Andrew. That was a good idea, and the color looks great. It's different, and it's really unique. And I think for a brand new indoor program to start with a brand new jersey is exciting. We were excited when we got ours. We were really excited with the whole idea of what do you call those fins or the
custom?
Yeah, custom made.
Custom made when it's sublimated.
Yep. So like I really loved how excited the kids were. It really brings them together when something that small becomes such a big deal. I think from the get-go, when you look organized, when you look like you've got something put together that well, it starts the organization right there. You know what I mean? And I judge myself sometimes when I coach youth soccer. Obviously, my situation is different. We have a lot of low-income kids, but it sucks when they don't all wear gala gear, and it kind of makes me feel like I'm failing as an organization sometimes. But I also understand they can't all afford to buy enough T-shirts to wear 4 trainings in a row. I get that, so I'm a little bit more flexible with that, but maybe I shouldn't be. But see, when Andrew is really up for that, he always wants to look good before games and before practice. I really appreciate that because they look good. Pre-game, they always buy their own warm-ups. They have warm-ups, and then they have the amazing jerseys. You came up with the idea. I remember at the beginning, people were against the orange. They were like, oh, and then now we love it. Like, we love it. We all love it. I even had a question, about it at the beginning, and now I'm like, this is a brand now. That's outstanding. So, like I said, those things are really important to get those kids to feel like they belong to an organized entity, and an entity is going to be around for a long time, I hope.
Yeah, and at the indoor open tryouts, we gave jackets to the other 2 new coaches, and Jim already had one. And Andrew actually was also behind working with Icarus FC to design those hexagon gray and black jackets with our star on them. Mm-hmm. And some of the new indoor players saw that and instantly said, how much are they? And so we were running a racket on the side of selling Steelhead jackets at $60 each to these guys that had never played for the Steelheads before, because they saw me and all the other coaches wearing them. And so, yeah, that sort of look is something that's one of the fun non-soccer part of things to do or to work with. One of the other non-soccer things, but it was important. I mentioned earlier that Jim was looking for our trophy, and we didn't get that down there to the Dome. But what he wanted to do was to display those new magenta jerseys. And so when we stopped off at Streamline Digital Imaging and visited with Veronica that weekend, Veronica had a bunch of display, not full mannequins, but partial mannequins sitting on pedestals and things. And Jim looked at one, and I nudged him like, "Hey, look, we could put one of our jerseys on there and show it off at the Dome." And so we asked Veronica, and she said, "Yeah, they're expensive, so bring it back." But so he picked out this like totally buff washboard ab top mannequin. And as a little inside note, he said to me, "Dave, I'm going to put a small jersey on it so that it looks like it's like it's ripping through. And that's how tough we're going to be." And I thought to myself, this guy is going to pay attention to the details. So the day of the tryouts came, and I'll upload a picture. Everyone can see it as we're talking here. There was the mannequin or the bust, all ripped, pulled to the seams with muscles showing. And as the players walked in, then they saw the kit that they're fighting to wear, and that they were trying out to be a part of. So you know, the little touches. It was fun, and we had a Steelheads flag there. You know, it looked good. So it was really a fun experience for them. For those that don't know a lot about the WISL, of course, indoor soccer is a really fast-paced game, and it's got a super long history at the Dome, but also in Snohomish, with the long-term competition from the local team called the Snohomish Skyhawks. And so now the Steelheads are in, and we will have a hometown derby, which will be exciting. The other teams in the league are, you mentioned Bellingham United. They recently placed third at nationals, and they're 3 or 4 time league champions now. Excellent team. And here they are just 45 minutes away from us. And we're friendly now, but eventually we hope we can, you know, earn their respect on the pitch. And of course, we played Bellingham's outdoor team back when we were first developing the outdoor Steelheads. So then you've got Ole Town, which is a club down in Olympia, Tacoma Stars, which are reserves, which are in Tacoma, the Tacoma Narrows, which is a club that we played our first year in the outdoor league, and they're in the WISL now. We've got the Ole Penn Forest, which are in Bremerton, and then the Skyhawks, the Snohomish Skyhawks. So it's an interesting group, and it's an exciting, fast-paced sport, but super competitive. And it's like we're the newbies. So Jim knows already. He's been looking for experienced guys, thinking to himself, you know, the kids we have love soccer and are talented players, but there's something different when you play indoor and the game starts, and you've got these 35-year-old guys that are slow, but suddenly they're good because they know the ins and outs of indoor. And that's the challenge that Jim has ahead of him. But the league recently had a conference call where they said they're going to have another call in November. And that's when hopefully we'll see some sort of movement on the league starting up in January. But Daji, before then, there's probably going to be some friendlies at the Dome. So people should be looking to see, based on what happens with COVID and what the rules are, at least look to see what our results are. And maybe if we're fortunate enough, we can have spectators and start enjoying the Steelheads indoor team even before the season starts. But a lot of that's up in the air. But as we close, I'm talking about the new WISL team. We should mention that there's a women's team coming too, and they'll play at the end of the men's season. And there'll be a lot more to talk about the WISL women's team for Snohomish later. Yep. But I wanted your take on how the indoor can complement and build to help outdoor.
Well, Yeah. First of all, the fact that we have a connection now with the coach. Before, we used to send it to other clubs, and there is no communication with the coaches. And now we can actually, when it comes close to the outdoor season, and I can start talking to the coach and let him know about my expectations about fitness and some of the other expectations. And I think that will be very complementary to each other, and we can do the exact same thing when they're getting ready for their season as well. I can put them in shape before they even go to the tryouts, which we did this year. They've been training with us nonstop before they tried out, and I think they look better in the tryouts. But like you said, they're outdoor players, so they're gonna have to learn the game of indoor, and Jimmy has some work in front of him for that. But it's a good group of kids, and thinking about a lot of the competition that they're gonna face has been doing indoor at least 10 years and experience. Uh, you know, Jimmy should remember, like, it might not happen right away. Hopefully it will. But if it doesn't happen, I know these guys will learn and they will be an impact players in a couple of years. And they don't need 10 years for it. They are definitely good kids and they're willing to learn. And I think that will be the plus for our players. You know what I mean? So at least that's what I think. So, but like I said, Jimmy is an open-minded guy, seems like, and the connection with this new ownership in the indoor, they've been so open-minded and so welcoming, and we are able to train there more, and they helped us out with so many different ways. Thank you, owners, by the way. And I think that's also going to be helpful as well for our players to be aware of that. For now, Gala is not thinking about an indoor program, but you never know, in the future we might. But right now we are full force supporting the Steelheads indoor program. So
Yeah, and as a GM, there's a lot of well, there's not a lot of downtime in terms of working behind the scenes, but when the club isn't playing, there's only so much promotion that you can do. So the season would end in July outdoors, and then it would pick up again in maybe March with open tryouts. That's a long time in between where you're not communicating with people or where there's nothing to promote. So indoor soccer cuts that right in half, and it brings the Steelheads logo in front of people for a whole nother season in a whole nother time of year. And so we'll see what that does. Obviously, it's more work for us, but of course, for the players, it's exciting because they have something to do during the winter if they're not playing outdoor somewhere.
yeah,
And for fans, if they like watching and cheering for the Steelheads in the summer, they don't have to wait another year. They can go half a year or even less, a few months, and suddenly there's another season, and it's indoor, and it's a little more intimate. The games were pretty fast paced. They come and go, and you're right on top of the action, standing there at the Snohomish Sports Dome. So
yeah,
from a GM perspective, despite the extra work that we add when we add more teams, in a lot of ways, it makes things easier because there are games to play, things to promote, news to report on, and ways to grow the club. So
yeah.
it's going to be exciting seeing how indoor builds momentum for outdoor, and then because we can already see how outdoor built momentum for indoor. So
Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
I
All right.
mean,
The next time that go ahead.
what you were saying actually gave me a better answer for your question too.
Oh,
Reminded me, because
do
you
over.
one big thing is, I rather have the players play under an organized system and organized training with a good coach than them playing Sunday soccer and start having a lot of bad habits of not really trying hard with a slow paced game. So I think that's one thing that will be complementing the outdoor, because they will be training, actually training, not just playing soccer for fun. They'll actually improve themselves, So I think that's a big one that I actually
Yeah.
forgot.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because I remember our talks. Remember before we even went into the hiring process, we said, well, someone's got to do it the SnoCo FC way. And we know what that is, which is take it seriously and compete and commit and honor your word and make it so that although we're having fun, this isn't just something to goof around about. What's fun is being organized and being competitive and trying to win leagues. That's what's fun. So we want the indoor to have that same belief system, that you work hard, you compete, and that what's fun is representing Snohomish County and the badge, and being classy about it, and letting that other team know that we're organized and they were given a tough game. So and yeah, that's totally different than some teams who scramble at the last minute to get it together, and then you can kind of tell that maybe behind the scenes they're not organized. But for us, it's important, and that's what we wanted to see and what we're looking to build with both the new women and with the new men's team that's here. But that's it for talking about WISL for now and for the new Steelheads. But exciting times, Tashi, because the 4th episode of SnoCo FC show is going to talk about the 2021 outdoor season for the defending Western Washington Premier League champion Steelhead men. What will we have to say? Well, you'll have to stay tuned to see.
Exactly.
Because, that's our baby. That's the team we started way back in the day. That's a team that Andrew Escalante and Aaron Burns brought Daji into to rescue after an initial result went haywire. And then he came in and suddenly we were competitive. I mean, that's the mothership. So we'll update everybody on the mothership the next time we get together. Hope you join us then. See you later.
See you later.